All right, Aries, let's go ahead and see what is transpiring for you in November of 2025. Show me Aries for November 2025, please. Your overall energy is the Wheel of Fortune reverse. So you can be repeating some cycles. I would definitely be careful of trying to force something too much or trying to control a situation because it can kind of backfire. All right. So the motto here is kind of let go, let God. Eight of Pentacles reverse. So again, there's something that you are doing that is incredibly repetitive and you're not really seeing the fruits of that labor. It feels like it's for naught, like it feels like you're spilling into an empty void. So the challenge is about putting in an effort towards something that you're actually going to see a return on. Okay. And you may need to ask yourself if you're actually invested on the thing or the relationship or the job that you have been working on. The recent past, so this is October, we have the Four of Swords. There was definitely some contemplation going on, some healing at best. And so I think a lot of you guys were probably chilling out, spending a lot of time at home. The Three of Swords reversed, or just in healing or in a therapist's office. The Three of Swords reversed for what's going on in December. Well, this can represent a couple of different things. Either you're overcoming something that was painful, or you are still holding on to it. The Chariot reverse for what's going on in your mind. Well, it's not really like you, but there may be some fear, or once again, it may be that you are trying to force something. When I see that Eight of Pentacles reverse, when I see that Wheel of Fortune reverse and the Chariot reverse, it very much tells me that you are trying to push something that you should not be trying to push. Okay. And then for your subconscious, the Page of Wands reverse. I think for a lot of you, it's around a lack of confidence or insecurity, honestly. And so you could be trying to force something in your life to prove to yourself that, I don't know, you still got it, or that you can make XYZ happen, because you might be of the mindset that if you can't, then there's something wrong with you. When I think that you need to look at it in a different way. Okay. The advice is the Emperor. Where did you go is what I heard. Where did you go? What happened to you? Did you become a shell of yourself? Did you forget who the hell you were? What is it? Because this Emperor, that's Aries. That's trying to remind you who you are and to get up, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. And it's time to not just show the world or remind the world who you are, but to remind yourself. Because for some of you, I feel like you may have forgotten. The Four of Wands for somebody external from you that can be affecting your energy at this time. This can be in regards to family. This can be in regards to a brand new person that you meet, maybe at like a festival or a wedding or something like that. That can sometimes be the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands for somebody external from you can be a person that you have a lot of fun with. So we'll see. Your hopes and or fears. King of Cups reversed. I think that you guys want love. I think that you want love. I think that you want emotional security, but you may fear that you're not going to be able to get it. Ooh, all right. Well, the Ten of Swords for the outcome. Definitely some kind of betrayal. Now, the negative thing about the Ten of Swords is, well, it's the Ten of Swords, right? It feels like crap. It is a betrayal of all betrayals kind of thing, right? Doesn't have to be that dramatic. Tarot's a little dramatic, but it is an ending nonetheless, and it's a painful ending. The good thing about the Ten of Swords is if you look at traditional Rider-Waite tarot, you're going to see that the guy who is stabbed is holding out his fingers like this in the shape, which is fortune after difficulty, or a symbolism of good luck. So it means that fortune will come. You just must go through this and evolve through this first. The Judgment. This can be about making the right decision. This can be about listening to a higher power when it comes to what your calling is and actually making decisions and taking steps towards that calling. This can also be a reconciliation energy. So let's go ahead and see. Tell me about that Wheel of Fortune reverse. Baby. I feel like you got it bad for somebody. Ooh. The Wheel of Fortune reverse, the Lovers reverse, the Wheel of Fortune reversed. You are on a the merry-go-round of your life. There is a constant back and forth of getting on the shit train and getting off of it only to get back on it again, to be fair. The Wheel of Fortune reverse can sometimes, in some cases, it can be where we're getting some bad karma. Okay. I don't know if it's that deep. But the Wheel of Fortune reverse is when we are refusing to break the cycle of our choices. And the only way you are going to be able to break whatever cycle you're on, especially when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to communication and the decisions that you're making, is by deciding and choosing differently than what you have been. Because it's like, let me show you how this works. Oh, we're going to continue on the same crap train that we've been on. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to force this. Um, Even though I know it's not working for me, even though I know this person doesn't give a damn about me, or even though I know I don't care about this person, this is comfortable, whatever. Okay, and then we get off, right? Lovers reverse, and then we get right back on. This is something that you need to be very cautious about. Okay. I know that sounds crappy. What a hell of a way to start out a reading, but I got to be honest with you. You have the Eight of Pentacles reversed and the Fool reversed for your challenge. It feels very like comfortable chaos to me. It's giving very comfortable chaos. It's giving like, oh well, this is what I know, so the devil that I know is better than the devil that I don't. Not necessarily, especially in this instance, because I think what you guys are doing is robbing yourself from a brand new, gorgeous, beautiful experience. But you have decided to get on the poop train again. Sorry. You have decided to get on the poop train again, and you're making it harder on yourself. And it's at what point do you have to really like be honest with yourself and say, am I wasting this person's time? Like, honestly. And if so, what is the deeper psychological reason as to why I'm doing that? Or it's that you have to ask yourself, am I actually invested in this? And if I am, is this other thing actually invested in me? Is this other person actually invested in me? Am I actually getting some kind of return on all this time and energy and love and whatever it is that I put in? Like, honestly. And if the answer is no, well, then some reassessment is in order. And so that Fool reversed is like, there is a fear that you have of taking some kind of risk because you are so attached to what you've always been attached to, which is just you making it hard on yourself. So now it's asking you, 10 of Wands is saying, like, when are you going to take responsibility for how you got here? I know that sounds really harsh, right? But I'm never gonna lie to you. And sometimes we have to do that. Like, sometimes it can really get to a point where we get sick of our own shit. And sometimes that's the only way we move forward. That's what happened to me when I was an alcoholic. I was like, damn, I'm sick of my own shit, and God forbid it gets to that point, right? The Four of Swords with the Ace of Cups reversed. I just think you guys are really drained in October, to be fair. And to be extra fair, I think you guys have probably been through some things that got you here. And that's what happens, right? It's like, especially if we grow up in like a broken home where let's say we always feel like we have to work extra hard in order to get love from a parental figure or a caretaker. We don't realize that if that does not get resolved in childhood, if we do not get help for that, we subconsciously seek out those same relationships in our romantic relationships, sometimes in our platonic relationships as well. And so it's about being able to notice that and being like, you know what? I don't have to live this life anymore if I don't want to. And I think that's where you guys are getting. And so you guys are feeling pretty drained. You had a lot on your mind in October. If I'm real, I hated October. I hated September too. I hated September worse. October sucked. I don't know how it was for you guys, but if it was great, then maybe this isn't your reading. I'm not sure. We have the Chariot reverse, the Eight of Swords. You genuinely believe that something is out of your control. No, 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 no. To an extent, of course. What other people do is not in your control, but you have a lot more control than you think you do. But you're of this mindset that you don't. And when you get stuck, Eight of Swords, in that mindset, it can be very difficult to come out of it. Now, what is the guidance for the Eight of Swords? You are not as stuck as you think you are. The Eight of Swords depicts a woman and she's blindfolded, and there's like eight swords, non-threateningly stuck in the sand around her. She's not actually stuck. All she has to do is take off her blindfold, right? Or whatever. I don't think she wears a blindfold. In this one, she does. I think the other one is Two of Swords. I can't remember. Anyway, and all she has to do is take off the blindfold if she's wearing one, and she has to walk through between the swords. It's actually an illusion. She thinks she's stuck. She's not. What's the guidance for this? The Three of Cups. Reach out to friends, groups, communities. You have more support than you think that you do. We have the Three of Swords reverse with the Two of Pentacles. Okay. Give me one more. This is for December. It feels like the big game or the big manifestations are kind of on the back burner right now. That's what it feels like to me. And I think it's because you're still healing from something. That's fair, you know? I mean, and you're handling it okay, right? The Two of Pentacles is still a bit chaotic. I think that you have a lot on your plate, especially in regards to, you know, your 3D reality, work, school, your job, money, finances, budgeting, whatever it may be, right? You're like focused on those things. But that Magician reverse, there's some self-doubt, you know, there's some self-doubt, and I think that a lot of it has to do with how your past has impacted you and the current circumstances, or you know what happened in November has kind of made you doubt yourself a little bit, and that's fair. But what's the guidance? The Four of Cups reverse again, like it's giving that you don't have to be your own martyr. You know, you don't have to suffer if you don't want to. Like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be things that you're going to see, experience sometimes where yeah, it freaking sucks, you know, it feels like crap, but it's asking you not to make things harder on yourself. So sometimes that means separating yourself from people. Sometimes that means you have to stop watching certain content that you know is going to upset you. You know what I'm saying? So it's about really taking accountability for how you got to where you are. Judgment, this is your theme, you know. And then we have the moon right behind that, and being able to release those things through proper judgment calls, through proper decision making. But the decisions that you're going to have to make are going to feel a little bit more difficult. And that's because, well, these are going to be cycle breaking decisions. These are really, really hard. I was in a cycle for like 3 years, okay, where I kept taking somebody back. And it was just, it was toxic for both of us. Let's just be real. And finally, like this person had emailed me and I was like, you know what? I think we just got to go our separate ways. It was the first time that I ever actually, like, for real, turned this person down. But it's like, that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do for that person and for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was really hard, but sometimes you have to do that. You have to allow yourself to start again, begin again. You know, sometimes that's the only path forward, really. So let's see that Page of Wands reversed, the Six of Pentacles reversed. There's something here, in my opinion, about you manipulating yourself to believe that you are not worth something. But it's like embedded deep inside you. It's like under the surface. And I think that you delay a lot of things or opportunities because you don't feel like you have something to offer, or you feel like the world doesn't have something to offer you, blah, 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 blah. Like there's something about that. Seven of Swords reversed. I need one more with the Two of Wands. It's again, you know, it's about honesty. It's about self. It's about being honest with the self. Seven of Swords reverse. Like you're needing to be very truthful with yourself, and you're needing to come out of your comfort zone and choose differently. Again, there's something about you choosing differently. Like, you know, maybe you are always dating like the bad guy or the bad girl, you know, the whatever. And it's like, that's never working for you. If you have been dating that similar kind of person for 5 years and you're like, wow, this is really not working for me, and your life is in fucking shambles every time you leave the relationship, that is a sign. That is a sign. And there is a lesson to learn here about these kinds of people that you are attracting into your life and attracted to, right? Like some people will be really attracted to people who have like addictions, you know, and sometimes weirdly enough, that's rooted in like a severe codependence, you know, needing to be needed, or you know, or people who are being very attracted to people who are victims, or very um maybe tormented or whatever. Like sometimes there's like a predator in you if you're if you're like that, you know, like you're wanting to be. And I know that sounds really harsh, I'm not talking to you, but like there's something, you know, or if it's not like a predatory, right, then maybe it's like you're a fixer. I can fix them, you know, like fix you, you know what I'm saying? Don't take on any other projects. Doesn't mean you can't help people. Okay. But you got to choose different, right? Like stop choosing the bad girl or the bad guy. You know what I mean? The Emperor for your advice. You're going to notice that everything works out once you're able to detach any kind of feelings, like negative feelings that are not incentivizing you to get up and like get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? And like we see this full moon in Taurus happening today, actually, as I'm recording this. And this is where we have to get our shit together, truly. Like this is the point where we're like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't do this anymore. You know, and once you're able to kind of get tired of your own crap, right? You're able to detach, oh, but I love them, but da, da, da. Like sometimes unfortunately you have to cut the arm off before it infects the rest of the body. You know what I mean? So I think that there's something there. And I think once you're able to actually do that, you're going to find your life contains a lot more peace. Somebody in your life. Four of Wands, Page of Pentacles reverse. What's their intent towards Aries? The Queen of Cups. I think you got somebody that loves you quite a bit. I think it might be mutual. But the Four of Wands, it can be like a higher level of commitment in some way. But that Page of Pentacles reverse tells me maybe this person isn't really putting in the effort. Like they're not really laying the groundwork. Like for instance, there may be fun and there may be love, but if fun and love were enough, a lot more people would still be in relationships. So there may be something around that. If this is somebody new, to be honest, you guys could fall in love this month if that's something that you're interested in. Okay, what is the guidance for Aries about this person? The Three of Wands reverse. Don't get too impatient, is what I want to say. Like, don't lose your cool. Because I can't say that to you guys, right? No, I'm just kidding. Don't lose your cool. Don't get impatient. You know, don't try to force something to happen. Don't try to force it. It's gonna blow right back in your face, and you're gonna be really pissed off. You want the courage to love. I think you want the courage to be able to be more. It almost feels like you guys want to feel more emotionally stable. You want to feel more emotionally in control. And in order to tame the emotions, we must tame the mind. Okay. And so the way you have to do that is a lot of the times, like let's say you're a very reactive person, people who are reactive sometimes, like let's say that, I don't know, a person at a bar is like, oh, you look like a douchebag, you know, and you flip your shit, right? Not saying you'd actually do that. Let's say you haul off and hit this person. Stop. Where is that coming from? Do you actually think that you're a douche? If no, then why did you have such a visceral reaction to that insult? Who fucking cares? You know what I'm saying? It's coming from ego. So if we're trying to balance that out, if we're learning how to tame our emotions, we must tame the mind, therefore we must tame the ego. Once you're able to get a hold of the ego and understand that not everything needs a response or a reaction, things get a lot easier. And then you'll be able to tame the emotion. Because if you're having an emotional eruption due to an ego problem, it's not necessarily an emotional problem. It's an ego problem, right? So you have to ask like where that is coming from, especially if you guys are wanting more control of your relationships. You know, do you fall to pieces if somebody rejects you? Ego. You know, or maybe it's abandonment issues. And so sometimes we have to learn to stop trying to prove how great we are or how terrible we are through other people. Anyway, um, uh, it's very bittersweet. I'm going to be real with you, Aries. It's very bittersweet, babe. Like the Ten of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles reverse. Sometimes you leave connections or relationships with scars. You know, sometimes you leave with a couple of duffel bags and, you know, nothing else. Sometimes you leave relationships with memories, and sometimes that's all you got, you know. Um, and honestly, there are worse things to carry with you than good memories, which I think that you have the Six of Cups there. because something is ending. You are taking the memories with you. But this thing doesn't really have whatever it is. It doesn't really feel like it has the legs to stand on. And I know that sounds really crappy, but what's the guidance for that? The Seven of Cups. This is asking you to be very realistic about a situation, but I also think it's asking you to open yourself up to the world a little bit, and the mysteries of life, open yourself up to not knowing. I love it sometimes when I just like don't know how my day is going to go, or maybe I do something spontaneous, or I decide that I'm just going to go meet a bunch of people, or I'm going to randomly just go join a new writing class, and who knows what's available. We don't know if what we're going to get out of that cup, right? If there might be a little bit of poison in there that's going to make us shit our pants, or if there's going to be, $100 in there. It just really depends. Sorry, I know I was a little crude in this reading. The energy is gaining momentum. Fire. That's you, baby. Ignite your soul. More fire energy. Embrace the mysteries of life. Stay open-minded and embrace the wisdom that unfolds from every experience. So what is the energy that's gaining momentum? Whoops. The Judgment. I'm telling you, your truth, your higher purpose. You don't see it now. You may not see it now. You may not see it in the moment, but everything that you have lived up until now is trying to push you forward to what it is that you're actually supposed to be doing, and what you most likely want to be doing, and what you need to be doing. And so again, this is asking you to open yourself up to the mysteries of life, open yourself up to the possibilities. And I definitely feel like you guys will prosper. Thanks a lot, Aries, and take care. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on my website at www.violettaalexis.com. If you would like to book a scheduled session with me,
That's where you'll see when I'm available, where you can either book ahead of time,
you can
or
do
you
so
can
at
contact me
tipsy.com/ViolettaAlexis. All of that information can be found in the description box below or in the pinned comment in the chat. Thanks a lot, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great mid-October.